not because we're Spanish, but because in 1846, the Spanish Governor General, I forget his name at the tip of my tongue. The Spanish Governor General ordered every Pinoy to change his name. And so he had to go to his parish priest, and you were told, you are now Antonio de la Cruz, and you are now Ramon Dizon, and so on. So we all, that is a cultural thing, a heritage thing that we all share. It wasn't only Spanish colonial that was here. The Dutch were here for a while, for a few years. The British kept trying to invade the Philippines. They weren't successful, but they tried anyway. The Japanese came during World War II. They stayed for a few years. We had American colonial heritage as well, which is why I can speak to you now in English and you can understand me. We all go to school in English. Just think, if we did not have this American colonial heritage, we would not have this huge benefit of being able to communicate with anybody all over the world in English. We think in English. Actually, the way to find out what is your mother language is how you count. We count in English. Even if we're talking Tagalog, we say 10, or we say especially 100, 200, 5,000, 7,992. Those numbers are not taught, we don't give those numbers in Filipino anymore. So we really think in English. When you think in English, you think a little bit, you frame your mind and your concepts in a very Western way. We were also, because of Spanish colonial influence, Christianized. So our religion is a Western religion. So the Filipino is doubly blessed at being able to frame his concepts in a Western way, in the Christian manner, and also to express himself in English. We lost our chance to express ourselves in Spanish. Next to English, the largest, maybe Chinese, no? But anyway, a large part of the world speaks Spanish today, and we could have been part of that world. So Filipinos are really one of the original global people of the world. We can live or exist in many parts of the world and be very comfortable. We can work in Spain, and it's not going to feel foreign to us. We can work in China or Japan. After a bit of adjustment, it's not going to feel that foreign to us. So again, the Filipinos very, very blessed in that we have had this very mongrel kind of history where all the influences have come in, and we have just simply digested that. And it helps us take our place as being one of the most global people in the world today. As you can see, all our workers are everywhere, all over the world, and doing very well, and even educating those kids all over the world. So in the next generation probably is going to be a Tagalog-speaking generation anywhere. From Filipino heritage and the multiculturality of this heritage, if you now look at Filipino, they're called decorative arts or Filipino design, you can see how the Filipino can combine, unlike any other Asian person, something tribal, something religious, Spanish colonial, Chinese, pre-Hispanic, come up with a range of products like these that bring everything together. Filipinos have always had that facility. We just don't realize that we have it. That's why 20 years ago we were called the Milan of Asia. Maybe that title should come back to us again. We can mix cultures, we can mix influences. We're very comfortable with whatever is in front of us. Like if you look at this house in Cebu, it's an old house. It's a 19th century bahay na bato. But in this bahay na bato, this was Christmas time. I don't show, the Christmas tree doesn't show, but inside this old house, there's a very Western Christmas tree. Here is this Christmas vignette. Very Western-looking people wearing Filipino clothes. We have Western, a tureen here and a soup bowl there. These are things that we see every day in our lives. We pay no attention to it, but a foreigner who's not used to the Philippines is going to note this. He will notice this. And he will know, or the very sensitive foreigner knows, or maybe, hopefully your buyer will know that I'm dealing with the right person because he can translate something that's very Filipino into something that's very Bond Street in London. The best way to see how we are such a mix of influences is through our food. We have lumpia Shanghai, which has never seen Shanghai. You can't find that in Shanghai, you only find that in the Philippines. We have pancit canton, which they don't eat in Canton, they only eat that in the Philippines. We have adobo, which is Spanish or Mexican in origin, but by the time we got to it, we added toyo to it, we added all kinds of things. It's no longer Western, or it's no longer Latin American. We also have that awful orange spaghetti, you know, from Jollibee especially. That for us is spaghetti. We serve that to kids at birthday parties with those red hot dogs. I dare you to serve that spaghetti to an Italian and call it spaghetti, and he will be insulted. He will say, you might as well say, you know, here's some orange pancit with cheese that comes from the box. We also have our own version of hamburger. Jollibee is so successful because its hamburger is to the Pinoy taste. It's hamburger, but it's sort of not. It's sweet, but it's not sweet. You see, as we have done with our food, we take an idea that's foreign, we bring it to the Philippines, we sort of digest it a little bit, we turn it around, and it comes out being a Filipino product. So in that way, we approach product design. We've talked about regional heritage, we've talked about different types of heritage. This is the heritage of a region in the north, of the Cordilleras. It's a very strong kind of heritage. The images are very, very vivid. The images and the heritage has to do with a special belief system that only the Cordillera people have. This is a belief of being in tune with nature, in tune agriculture, in tune with nature, in tune with the weather. Rice terraces being cut in a way where all the rice terraces, if you notice, all face east, so they get the sun. All the rice terraces have a forest above, water trickles down, and there's always a stream or a river below to catch the water. So you see, our early forebears, or even forebears today, who we call tribal, have as much knowledge as you and me who have gone to college and have degrees. It's a matter of how you look at all of these things. So, because the rain in the Cordillera is very, very strong, like here, roofs are very, very steep. It's like an umbrella. The rain just slides off. Bulols and wood carvings first have to do with certain rituals in the Cordilleras. Rituals start with headhunting rituals, but these are happier ritual objects. They're rice gods. They guard your granary. They assure you of a good harvest. You put them outside while you're harvesting. You put them outside again while you're planting. You keep them inside your granary to guard your rice while you're in between harvests. So these are the stories, or these are the objects that are Filipino, that are ours. Even if it's not from your own regional context, it's good to know this because you never know when it will be coming in handy. What we're really talking about today is where to get ideas for the next product that you're going to do. I'm giving ideas, I'm not giving answers, by the way. I'd love to hear the answers from you later on. Other regional influences, we have the Visayas, which is a whole collection of islands. So this is the landscape in the Visayas. And here is one traditional Cebuano art form, or decorative art form, which is the flowers made out of shells. These are used for home altars. They're put in as flowers and as offerings, and these are handed from generation to generation. And then you can adapt Filipino multicultural heritage into very modern, into very contemporary products that are feasible to manufacture. You don't want to have products that are one of a kind that you cannot manufacture. You want to have something that's easy to manufacture. You can